All right.
We're inside of the cab and we're on the number 1 end. Somebody very carefully marked that on. And I'm going to talk about the various components as they are. Some of them were labeled very nicely. There is a light switch inside of which is a fuse right there, that square porcelain one. This is the bell for the cord for the bell. That area where the paint is dark is where the original builder's plate for Laconia Car Company was, and somebody has stolen that. I'm sure we'll be able to get another one made. There's the main feed wire, came down from the roof through this switch. That turns it on or off. That's the main switch, and goes down under the car and eventually would come into the controller. We'll talk about that in a minute. Up here is the air brake gauge, an original, very nice piece of equipment. It says General Electric Company, Schenectady, New York, USA. This is the valve for the whistle. This is a fuse. I'm not sure what it's for. I think it may be for the lights, but or the headlight. I'm not sure. Over here is the air compressor fuse and switch to turn it. Notice the wires are just all exposed, but they're insulated, of course, and they're fastened with very nice little copper straps. This goes through and down below. I think this is where there was originally a switch for the air compressor when it used to be underneath the car, but I'm not sure. Let's just turn right around and we'll look at the other end. We have the same thing. There's the number 2, and this is on because this is the end that we use. We'll talk about that in a minute. The wire, the bell, and so forth, and the whistle, all the same. The car is double-ended. Some locomotives had a controller only on one side and they could just turn around and look either way, but this car, this being a little bit larger, they needed to have 2 controllers. Looking here, we have a retainer for the door. The floor, unfortunately, has moved. That's a standard Laconia Car Company fixture, which we have actually made some of. Over here is a bracket for when they stored the tail light inside. They just hang it in there. Now let's look at these components. This is the handbrake wheel, so when we wind up on that, that tightens the brakes under the car. This trolley was heated by coal stove originally, which was right here. Notice the charred wood. I marked that because we were trying to figure out where the coal stove was, and it must have had a smokestack going up through here, and we're still trying to figure out exactly whether this was a replacement wood or what here. But the coal stove is here, and we're very likely going to put one back in here because that's kind of interesting. Right here is the governor, which is the pressure switch that tells the air compressor to go on or off. Over here is what they call the C6 feed valve. The air pressure is goes at about 110 pounds per square inch when it comes into the reservoirs, but it's dropped back to, I think it's 70 pounds by this feed valve. It's just a reducing valve here.